Our minds have been programmed. We all should understand that. They've been programmed for mediocrity, to be average, to fit in, to be a part of society. Like our brains have been wired, like with all of the information and things that we've gotten to keep us in that place. So when you want to break out of that place, when you want to get to the next level, when you want your life to be different, when you want to experience all the good things of life, when again, my definition of wealth is to fully experience all that life has to offer, right? When you want to get to that place, you're going to have to reprogram how we think about things. We're going to have to remind ourselves some things that society and your family and your coworkers and the people that you see, they're not reminding you those things. They're not reminding you. So our brains have to get rewired. We have to unlearn and relearn some things. That's why the repetitive nature of hearing similar messages over and over again will help you. It'll help you to develop the mindset that you need, the mental toughness that you need in order to get to the life that you're asking for. Some of the things that I heard in there that I wrote down that are just the things that I can grab out of the air: consistency and discipline. It's going to lead you to all the great things you want in life. Just last week, we talked about consistency, or the week before, we talked about some things around being consistent. And the only thing that's missing in your life is your ability to be consistent at the things you say you want. That's all that you're missing. It's just consistency. It's not doing it because you feel like it. It's doing it because it's habit, it's routine, right? It's not because your feelings are dictating it. It's because you just know you need to be consistent at showing up and doing that thing. Everything you want, success wise, success in your health, finances, business, faith, relationship, all of it is on the other side of you being consistent at doing something for a long period of time. So consistency and discipline, just pull that out. Again, good reminders. What areas are we not being consistent in? What areas did we start last week that we didn't do this week? What areas did we start 2 months ago that we didn't continue? As January comes around and we start saying, new year, new me, I'm going to change. This year's going to be different. We'll look at that level of consistency and how consistent you are in that thing that you're trying to change. That'll be a good indicator. So consistency and discipline, important. It said in there, when it gets hard, the brain works differently. When things get tough, that was in that section where they were talking about quitting, how we can't quit, can't give up, can't quit on whatever you want that's worthwhile, whatever you want that's up ahead, like whatever you're trying to get to, it's going to require work. It's going to require a battle. It's everything. John Maxwell says everything that's great is uphill. Everything in life that you want that's great, that you're striving for, it's uphill, which means you have to work harder at climbing that hill in order to get anything worthwhile, because our brains start working differently the more that we say, I'm not quitting. You ever heard in sports, they say the second win, they got their second win. They were tired, and then all of a sudden they got their second win, and right, they performed even better. It's because they were used to training their brain to saying, when it gets hard, we're still not stopping. So that then the brain can kick in and be like, okay, well, we're still not stopping. We're used to not stopping. Let's keep going. But if we stop and start everything, if we quit in our relationships, if we quit in our business, if we quit on good habits in our finances, if we quit on our health, if we quit on little things, it makes it harder to start because your brain is recognizing your pattern of when it gets hard, let's shut it down. When it gets too emotionally taxing, let's shut it down. When it gets too physically taxing, let's shut it down. You're training your brain how to not get to the life you want. So what do we do to reverse that? We have to do hard things consistently. We have to do hard things consistently. Told you we just got back from a little trip out of the country, and there was a spa. I always take a spa day, right? Yeah, I'm that guy, right? I need the spa day, and so I go into the spa. They have a cold plunge and a hot pool, right? And so the cold plunge is like 48 degrees or something like that, and the hot tub is the hot part of it. And I've been trying for the past year to get myself to do the hard thing of a cold plunge. Me and my wife have talked about buying one and doing one in the morning, and I haven't gotten there yet. Like again, we're all working, right? We're all getting to this journey, right? So I just haven't gotten to the place of doing the hard thing first, even though I know all the benefits and gives you back 20 years of your life and right, all the things. I get it. It's been really hard for me to do that part, right? Because it's the hard thing. So I'm trying to train my brain how to do something hard. So on vacation, right? It wasn't all relaxed. I'm like, all right, let me train my brain how to do this hard thing. Try to go do the cold plunge. Jump in, jump in the cold plunge, just legs deep, like up to my knees, probably for 4 seconds. And I was like, oh, can't do it. I'm out. I'm done. Got out, got into the hot side, right? Didn't go back in. That was my attempt. I'm gonna get it next year, right? This year coming up. I'm gonna get it. But it's training your brain how to do hard things. Just not shy away from the hard thing that you're like, I know I really don't want to do this, and I know it's probably not gonna feel good, but I know all the benefits and all the things that's gonna help me. So let me rewire my brain to just do whatever's really hard. All right, let me just jump into this pool. I don't want to do it, but let me do it. Only stayed in for 4 seconds. It'll get better, right? The goal is 90. The goal is 3 minutes, right? The goal is 180 seconds, right? That's the goal. But anyway, doing hard things. Your brain works differently. I also the last thing I wrote down, or one of the other things was it's natural to get pulled off course. I just want to remind all of you this. Most of you know these types of things, but I just have to be your reminder. I want to be that voice in your ear. Like it's natural to get pulled off course. It's natural to have a plan, and then all of life, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, like goes against what your plan is. Like that is like natural. It's natural. So we have to expect it. So what do you do? Do you have a plan for adversity? Like when you are going in a direction that you know you want to head and then adversity hits, do you have a plan for that? Because you know it's going to happen. Or is it going to derail us? Is it going to get us knocked off track? Is it going to be, oh, now we have to slow down for a month. Now we have to slow down for 2 months. Now our momentum slows down. Now the worry kicks in. Now the doubt kicks in. Now we don't know if we want to get started again. Now our brain goes to work not thinking that we need to do the hard thing. And then it's a self-fulfilling thing that happens over and over again. So it's natural to get pulled off course. That's why you have to plan for it. When you see life starting to happen, you have to get more refocused on exactly what the plan is, what the path is to continue to stay down. I was just having this conversation with a couple that I'm coaching financially, and this is the same conversation we were having about debt. And once they're in a little bit of debt, they're getting out of their credit card debt. And what I told them is there's a plan that we have in place. And we talked about the plan. It's a debt snowball. They're going to just keep paying down these cards. But they had life pull them off track the past 2 weeks. They had something pop up. They had to use a credit card. They paid, $300, $400 on a credit card. And what they did naturally was got rid of the plan and started paying down the new card that they just added money to. And I told them, don't do that. If you had to add to it, fine, but stick to the plan. Because what happens is once we derail from the plan just a little bit, it snowballs. And so then you have that month. This is what I explained to them. Then you have that month where you have a bunch of things go wrong and you use a bunch on the credit card. Now you're paying off two, three different ones, and now we're off the plan. That's the same thing that happens in life. You have a plan to eat the right way, you have a plan to work out, and then all of a sudden you get sick. You twist your ankle. Something crazy happens in your house. So you like can't make it to the gym or you can't make it to the grocery store. Like life shifts all around. And then you're like, oh, well, I'll just take these 4 days to not do. Now we're off track. Just like that. We're off track. So you got to have a plan for the adversity. You got to have a plan because it's natural for life to knock you off track. That's natural. You just have to know that it's coming and then know what to do. You have to expect it. You can't expect it to not happen. That's the key, ladies and gentlemen, right? In our text, 177 mental toughness secrets, it says here the world class catapults their consciousness by overcoming obstacles. We know that the obstacles are necessary, a necessary part of your journey. Say that again because sometimes we shy away from it. It's a necessary part of your journey, whatever journey you're going on, health journey, financial journey, spiritual journey. Like the obstacles are what make you who you are. It's what allows you to have the life you're asking for. So don't shy away from them. Here's what it says in the text. It says, while the masses see obstacles as their primary adversary, champions view them as an opportunities to expand their level of thinking and competence. Professional performers know the only way they can truly become mentally tough enough to manifest their vision is to struggle and fight their way through obstacles. There's no other way. The great ones are conscious of the fact that success is trial by fire. The middle class consciousness avoids obstacles at all costs and looks for the easy way out. The world class builds their own roads and forges ahead, knowing the strength of their character gained from overcoming obstacles, obstacle after obstacle, will be the measure of their true success. And with that rock solid character, even greater things can be accomplished. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. Say that again. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. The world class becomes great by overcoming more obstacles than the middle class. They get tough because they're in the game, getting hit and taking shots. Professional performers are good at overcoming obstacles because they are always engaged in the process. Amateurs spend so little time staring down the dragon that they simply never get tough enough to become pros. They fear the fear of failure looms deep in the psyche of the masses. The great ones are sometimes fearful, yet develop more courage with each new obstacle until they stand up one day as a true mental warrior. The quote that pops into my head all the time is Jim Rohn. He says, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Sometimes we wish our life was easier, our situation were easier. We just had more money. We just had more time. We just had more resource. Whatever we wish it were better or we wish it were easier. Jim Rohn says, don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Know that this sentence in here that says the world class builds their roads, forges ahead, knowing the strength of character gained from overcoming obstacles. The strength of character that comes from you overcoming tons of obstacles, just obstacle after obstacle, will be the measure of your true success because the rock solid character that gets built in you will allow you to accomplish greater things. I want you to see how that works. Obstacle comes, you don't quit, you don't shy away, you bow your back, you go right into it. You do that over and over again, year after year, decade after decade in your life. You become a professional at overcoming obstacles to the point that it builds your character, who you are as a person. The person you are today will not be the person that you are in 10 years after the amount of obstacles you've had to overcome. You'll be a completely different person. And that person will be the person that can go off and design the life that you're asking for because you've built your character. That's how this works. That's why we don't shy away from obstacles. We don't complain about it being tough. We don't complain about business being hard. We don't complain about life throwing us, right? All the things that it throws us. We don't complain about it because we know that's the only way we get to the life we're asking for. If we complain about it, it's only because we don't see the life that we're trying to get to. We don't care about what's up ahead. We're just focused on right now, and this is painful. This day is painful. This week is painful. What I'm going through right now is tough. But if you know where you're headed, if you have a vision for your life, if you know what you're trying to achieve in your financial life, in your business life, in your relationships, in your parenting, in your health life, in your spiritual life, if you know what you're going after, then whatever tests and obstacles are coming your way are here to pass. Like they're here to just make you stronger. I know it doesn't always feel like that in the midst of it. It doesn't always feel like that. It's not always the most comfortable. It doesn't always feel great when we're growing, but that's what happens. That's what happens. And that's what we have to embrace if we want to design the life we don't need a break from. If we want to get to a place where we have life exactly where we want it, we got to know that overcoming obstacles and challenges is the thing that makes us the person, the people that we need to be in order to get to the life that we want. If you don't want to get to a life, remember, that's why I always say these calls aren't for everybody. Like if you don't want to go anywhere, that's fine. Live your life. Live your life. If there's nothing you want to strive, you don't need a better health life. You don't need better finances. You don't need better business. You don't need better relationships. Like you don't want anything better in life, then don't strive to do any of these things. But if you do want those things, if you know you are not where you want to be, need to be in life, you're not living the life God has called you to live. If you know that that's you, then you have to start thinking about obstacles and challenges differently. If you change your thinking, you'll change your life. The obstacles and challenges don't go away. I always tell y'all, life doesn't get easier. We get stronger or not. It's your choice. But once we think about obstacles differently, you'll handle them differently. Your outcomes will change. The action step for today says make a list of the three biggest obstacles you currently face. Next, determine the worst thing that could possibly happen if you decided to mount an all-out assault to overcome them. If you can live with your worst case scenario, then suspend your fear, attack your obstacles as if it were impossible to fail. If you succeed, your self-confidence will soar. If you fail, you'll live to fight another day. You'll learn. That's how you get to the life you don't need a break from. That's how you design your ideal life. That's how you build the courage and the tenacity to go after this dream life that you have. It's by knowing that the obstacles are coming and that you have to fight through them. And the more that you fight through them, the stronger you become as a person, the bigger, the better your character is built, and the greater things you'll do in the future. That's the key. Stay disciplined, stay consistent, yo. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. If no one else ever tells you, I'll always tell you, you deserve to win. You got to remember that. If again, sometimes our brains are programmed thinking that we don't deserve to win. We don't see people around us that winning. We look far off and we don't know that winning is possible for us. But you deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. You deserve to live the life that God has called you to live. Like you deserve those things. Now you just got to do the work. Now you got to shift your mindset. Now you got to transform your mind. Now you got to think differently. To get something different, you got to think different. You got to become different. This is the work. Consistency over time will help you get to that place, y'all. We can all do it together. It's too crowded down here at the bottom. Time to get to the top of this thing. Love you guys. Enjoy your Monday. We're back, fired up. Hopefully you have a great day. We'll see you again here on Wednesday. All right. Take care.